Well, hi. Today is Thursday, January 8th, 2025. I'm Todd Studer, and this is Morning Coffee. Okay, so you can see behind me that not a lot has changed in here, but it is about to. We're going to get the rest of the wall put up very, very soon. Kind of have to. We have an open house coming up next week, so we need to start getting some things buttoned up. Also, coming up today, we're welcoming a new guest onto the show. It is Amber Reyes, and Amber is with Amelia Assisted Living. And we wanted to talk with her because this is kind of cool. Amelia Assisted Living in Council Bluffs was recently named the best assisted living facility in all of the state of Iowa. And we're going to talk with Amber about how they were nominated, about what that type of award means, and also just about some of the things that are going on there with Amelia Assisted Living. So Amber Reyes is going to be our guest today on Morning Coffee. If you're looking for work and you like to drive, you know you can get paid for it as a first student bus driver. You'll work short hours, earn a competitive wage, make a difference in the lives of children. And that pay starts with a sign-on bonus. Fully licensed drivers get a bonus of $4,000. And if you don't have your CDL yet, but you're going to, because they're going to help you get it, you'll get a sign-on bonus of $3,000 once the CDL is obtained. And every driver gets on-the-job training. So don't wait. Apply at workatfirst.com. If you have a leak, a clogged drain, or if you're planning a big remodel, Waldstein Plumbing in Council Bluffs has you covered with fast, reliable service and expert craftsmanship, handling everything from small repairs to major installations. Locally owned and trusted, and taking pride in doing the job right the first time. Residential or commercial, big or small, when plumbing problems strike. Call Waldstein Plumbing. Visit them online at waldsteinplumbing.com. And Morning Coffee brought to you by Keith Jones, your Edward Jones financial advisor in Council Bluffs. Learn how he can help you reach your financial goals. Visit edwardjones.com for more. Edward Jones, member SIPC. This is Amber with Amelia Senior Living. Hey, congratulations on this big award. And when I say
Thank
big, I
you.
mean big.
Yes.
Amelia Senior Living in Council Bluffs was named the top assisted living
Yes.
in the entire state. Is
in
that?
the entire state?
Wow.
Yes, by the Iowa Assisted Living Association. And yeah, that there was several hundred applicants that were up for grabs for the award, and we got it.
That had to have been how did you find out? Was it an email? Was it a phone call? How did
So
that come in?
I love that you asked that because I did not know. It was our head chef who had actually applied for this, and she didn't tell me.
Really?
She just did it. She's like, "Hey, I need help. Can you just get me some pictures and stuff and send them to this email?" And I'm not paying any attention. And then she called, and I was in TJ Maxx of all places. And she is like, "Amber, I had applied for us to win, to get the Assisted Living of the Year award, and we got it." And I was like, I start crying in the middle of TJ Maxx. I'm just like, "Oh my gosh, this is so awesome." But yeah, so that she did it all. She kind of just did it nonchalantly.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
And I know that those types of wins, especially the ones that aren't expected, they just kind of feed your soul.
It
And
does.
tell me I'm wrong. This one's been feeding your soul for a little while.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So much. Because, there's so much of the day to day that, people or even the residents don't see, like simple cleaning things or getting rid of old furniture. It's just these little things that you see and notice and, making sure that the residents are happy because that's a lot. It's a lot to ensure. And it was just exciting and the residents were excited. So yeah, it definitely feels like it was a long time coming.
Well, I'm sure that, you're not going to get a report that explains everything about how it is that you came by this award, but you work there. You know the day-to-days that are going on. So what do
Yes.
you think are some of the reasons why Amelia Senior Living received this award? From your vantage point, why do you think that was given to you?
I truly think because we are on a smaller scale, we are a family. And that I was able to read Shelley's letter at our acceptance at the award ceremony. And I got to read her letter. So then, I'm reading her letter and I'm crying, trying to get through it. First time I'm reading it. But yes, just being that smaller community where staff is like family. The residents are like family. We capture them having fun, trying to give them life enrichment activities, not just bingo,
Mm.
but like going out to eat at local restaurants and, just making sure their care is tailored to them. And I think it really is a reflection on our current leadership team of how we've come together over a lot of changes, and especially COVID. I mean, even though that was now like 6 years ago, which is
Mhm.
crazy, Shelly, our head chef that, like I said, nominated us for this, and I were in the thick of it. So, I mean, we've seen some stuff. So I think just our perseverance through all that.
Did you guys stay, since you brought it up,
hmm
did you keep some of the same protocols that had to be put into place back then? Do you still maintain some of those today?
Not really. If
No?
to an extent, we have if we have a resident that tests positive or is showing like some symptoms, then we may test them. If they do have it, we do have them isolate in their rooms. We'd still gown and glove and wear masks just to try to prevent any spread, which truly has seemed to help in the scheme of things.
Mhm.
Very few, you're not seeing an outbreak anymore because we're just more aware of, washing hands and all of, just hand sanitizer everywhere. So I guess to an extent, yeah, I mean, there's still those
Yeah,
things.
that kind
Like
of thing. Yeah.
when you think about it and you talk about it, you're like, oh wait, yeah. I mean, we do implement a lot more now, I think, and especially during cold and flu. Yeah, we do to an extent. But if somebody has COVID, if they still want to visit, or families can come in. That's not an issue. That's at their discretion, and it's that part was, I think, the worst part. And luckily, we don't have to follow any of that. So
Yeah, and that's a lot of stuff had to get put into place initially with all of that, just because nobody really knew what was happening
right,
and have a full understanding about how it was spread. So you just kind of had to throw the kitchen sink at it to,
literally, like,
to
oh,
get
let's see
everything
what
done.
this is gonna do. Yeah.
And with being in a place like that, it's even more critical. So,
Mhm.
the room for error is less,
Yes.
so it's vastly important that you're staying on top of everything. So well done on getting through that. I'm sure that had to have been an incredibly stressful
Oh
time.
gosh, it was. And it feels like it was just yesterday. And like
It,
it's like,
that is the strange thing. Yeah, because this hit March of 2020 was when they
yep,
first came out with it, right?
yep.
And we are now in 2026.
That's how has it been
I
like
don't know.
closer to 10 years than, oh
I
my,
know it seems like it was just like a year and a half ago, but
yes, it
still,
does.
glad to be through all of that. So, to me, Amelia Senior Living flies under the radar a little bit just because of your location. You're kind of
Yes.
tucked away, in
So much so.
this little
Yes.
alcove in town that people will drive right past and not know you're there.
Yes. Yes. And I feel like that is kind of a lot of people when they come to tour, they're like, you're kind of like the little hidden treasure. And I'm like, I would absolutely call it that.
Yeah.
So funny because today I got online, I'm like, oh, my marketing budget started over with my, little swag or collateral, if you will. I'm like,
Right.
I'm ordering a steak in this. I'm going to put it out at our corner and have this flag, that like gets
Yeah.
people's attention. And
Yeah, you need one of those inflatable things, that waves
yes,
their arms back and
the
forth. There you go. You
whatever
can sell
two
used
man,
tires in
yes,
there.
yes, exactly. And so I wish, I mean, I even have asked, I'm like, can we just get like a better sign? But people are like, I've driven past this for years. I drive past this every day. Had no idea what it really was,
Mhm.
and we even have gotten confused with like, Joshua House, Lydia House. Well, then it was Amelia House for how many years? So we've had calls where people are like, so like, are you in assisted living? I feel like it's a little bit more clear
Mhm.
now, but I definitely when I first started there, there was a lot of misconceptions. So
Well, you and I have known each other for several years,
mhm,
and I know that this position that you have in this place that you work means a little bit more to you than a paycheck. I
absolutely.
mean, you have found a place that you can go into that you're getting a lot of reward in life from being
Yes,
there.
absolutely. And I just feel like, made the Facebook post yesterday about, we've had actually in this last week, we've lost 3 residents and it's just crazy. And, just to be there from day one when they're moving in to, you're laying them to rest, you're at the funeral with the family, and you, it's just that is such a passion for me to be there for not only the resident but their families as well. They're going through it. They're not in the thick of it like the resident, but they're certainly going through the guilt of, I wanted to keep them at home. I want,
Hmm.
and it's like we can still do those things here. No, it's not the house they lived in for 60 years, but I'm very like sensitive to that. Let's just make new memories. Easier said than done, but
Well, and we know several people with companies that they're designed to be able to extend people's time
yes.
in their homes. And
Yes.
and I know that you work with these folks,
All the time.
but eventually there can come a time where that's just not an option anymore.
Absolutely.
And that's why facilities like yours are so important. And plus, knowing that you got the hardware now to prove
Yeah.
just how good of a place
Exactly.
is this. Yeah,
Yes.
you have that now. So it's, but here's the thing. You guys weren't doing anything different a year ago before you
No,
got this award than
you're
what you're doing
exactly right.
now. This is just recognition of work that's already been going on.
Yes. Yeah. And I think it feels that much better now that it's like we've gone, different leadership changes. You've kind of heard that from me. That can be really difficult when, you're one of the only ones that are the constant. So you're kind of trying to be that constant for
Hmm.
your staff, for your residents. And um, so yeah, it felt a lot sweeter. I feel like that, hey, we've gone through this, but we've stuck together, and at the end of the day, it's about what we can do for the residents and making their lives as fulfilling as they can possibly be.
How far back does your time in the industry go? How long have you been doing it?
I have been 6.5 years officially. 6.5 years. And I had no marketing experience
Hmm.
before this. I was a pharmacy tech. I was going to be a pharmacist. I was going to be a physical therapist. And then I kind of fell backwards into this, and I haven't looked back.
Well, it's from the starting point though. I'm sure that you had uh, things in your head about how this is going to be.
Hmm.
Has to be a lot of differences that you have discovered since being in
Yeah.
from that time when you first started.
Yes. Yes. And I think what it is, and we went through a big transition from our original company that I started with to being acquired by a different company, and where I feel like we have a little bit more leeway, I guess, or the corporate office that we have now is Terra Senior Living out of Kansas City. And I just feel like they're very supportive of the specific community. So like if we want to do something and they're like, "Does it work for you guys?" Great, go ahead and do it. Of course, within reason,
Hmm.
but at the same time, before I don't feel like we could really do that. So that's been really nice to see, that we kind of have that independence, if you will. But just from, you're seeing people in their 90s when I first started, and now, our average age, they're in their early to mid 70s, maybe more 80s. People, it just seems like they're staying at home longer,
Hmm.
um, for as long as possible. But, either they just have some sort of health issue come up and they're just like, nope, I can't do it. Making that decision sooner rather than later, I think, has been something that has also changed a lot too. So,
How far out would you say the radius goes for where people are finding you and you're getting residents from? I mean, is it
yeah.
is it a long way? Is it pretty tight to
It's
Council
pretty
Bluffs?
tight. I mean, we get a lot from like the Persia area, some from Harlan, but there's a couple other assisted livings or skilled care
Hmm.
facilities up that way. But we just had a resident come from Atlantic, and had lived there his whole life, but this would just make more sense for his family. And
That's part of it
um,
too, though, isn't it? Is where the
yes,
family is at. So proximity,
yes.
because they want to be able to come visit and they don't want to have to drive 3 hours to do it. Yeah.
100%, especially if that person has a decline. And this month we're welcoming a resident. He's been in Minnesota for, most of his life, and son and daughter-in-law are moving him down here to be closer, and
Hmm.
so that not only is he leaving his home, he's leaving the state he knows and has lived in, and just so that's difficult too. But I mean, it's still a pretty tight radius, I would say. Very rarely are they too far, at least out of state, because that was kind of a special occurrence. But
It probably adds a little bit of a degree of difficulty to making sure that this gentleman feels like he's at home
yes,
and
yes,
giving him what he needs to be comfortable
yeah.
in a situation like that, not just physically, but also mentally. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think just learning those things about him ahead of time, talking with the family, and I have yet to meet him. I mean, the first time I meet him will probably be at our assessment for his
Hmm.
care, when he finally gets down here. But in talking with the family, what his interests are, and, keeping that in mind. We always do a welcome gift when they move in. So I try to personalize it. So just those little things that they feel like, okay, they are trying to get to know me. There is a personal touch to that, that first day even. So,
Does that be a one of the things that maybe you weren't quite as aware of when you first started the job that
yeah.
this kind of thing happens? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I feel like my questions have changed so much, and like
Right.
how should I phrase this so that you can get the true answer from the family,
Mhm.
when it's like just straight up asking, what's your biggest worry? Like, what are you most afraid of, or what do you think your family member is most afraid of too? Instead of just kind of beating around the bush, it's like you got to get in there and get the feels, because that's where it's at.
Mhm.
And you're not going to really learn anything if you don't, go that direction.
Well,
So,
I would say that for families that are exploring this option and
absolutely.
they need to get some more information, you can't go wrong with a facility that's just been named the best in the state.
Nope.
That's how it works, and that's at Amelia Senior Living right in Council Bluffs. Amber, thanks for coming in. Thanks
Thanks,
for
Todd.
filling us
Thank
in on
you.
everything that's going on over there. And again, congratulations. And when you go back, tell your head chef, good on you.
Good on ya.
Good
We'll
way to
keep you
do
a
it.
little longer.
All right. All right. Hope to talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Todd.
One of the ways we are able to bring you this show right now until we get our fiber internet installed is because of the good folks at ThinkSpace IT. They provide cellular internet service, and it's been working very, very well for us. And, technology should be working for you, not against you. That's why ThinkSpace IT exists. They provide expert IT solutions to keep your business running smoothly and securely. Visit thinkspaceit.com. When you're feeling stuck in uncertainty, conflict, or miscommunication, there is a place to turn. Local author Carol Horner has written a book called Spiral of Accountability, and this is your guide to breaking free from the fog that clouds decision making and relationships. Are you having people, whether at work or in your life, that you just can't find common ground? This book is going to help you learn how to recognize negative cycles, maybe even shift your mindset and build a culture of clarity and collaboration. So if you're ready to spiral up, get your copy on Amazon, or even better, you can go straight to the source. Visit Carol's website, spiralofaccountability.com. S&B Country Kennel, the top spot in Southwest Iowa when you need to know your dog will receive only the best. Boarding, daycare, grooming, self-washing, training, and even a membership available to a dog park over an acre in size. S&B Country Kennel also has rescue dogs, so check with them about adoption possibilities. S&B Country Kennel, located just west of I-29 on Bungie Avenue, south of Council Bluffs. That wraps up today's show. Again, thank you, Amber from Amelia Assisted Living, for joining us today, and congratulations on that award. Best assisted living facility in the entire state of Iowa. That is really something. That wraps up today's show. One more day to go before Friday. We got a lot to get done in the meantime. My name's Todd Studer, and we will see you back here tomorrow morning.